What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff. Today I'm going to be answering a question from Mike Cross. He says, "Hey Jeff, your videos are awesome. Keep them coming. Me and my girlfriend are moving to Maui from North Carolina in a year and a half and possibly Kihei. Got a question. Hopefully not too personal, but what's a ballpark figure a month you spend in Kihei for rent, Wi-Fi, water, electric, etc.? Thanks, Jeff." Okay. I don't really like to answer financial questions or go into too much detail about what I do for work. I've had actually people email me, my personal account, asking me what I do for work, and I'm not a big fan of that question, but I think that it is in a way something that can be answered without giving too much information, and I think the way that Mike Cross here is asking the question is fair, and I'm going to go ahead and do my best to answer it. So rent, I would say on average rent here for a family, because he says me and my girlfriend. I would say ballpark. So since we're talking ballpark, go ahead and chalk up $1,700 just for your rent. I mean that's an average rental price. I mean, $1,700 is going to get you very basic living standards, though. You're not going to be living. For $1,700 in North Carolina, you might have a 4-bedroom house. In Maui, you'll have maybe a 2-bedroom apartment at best for $1,700. Okay, so Wi-Fi. I think Wi-Fi is about $75 a month, and Wi-Fi comes with that's with Spectrum, formerly known as Time Warner, here in Maui. That comes with basic cable for $75 thereabouts. Water comes with the unit. Electric, that's usually $150. I've heard it can be less if you don't have a washer and dryer unit. You have energy efficient appliances and stuff like that, but I mean I've had it as high as 200 and something, and that's probably because I'm running my AC unit. But then again, I've met people who say they run their AC unit every single day and that only costs them $30. I don't know, maybe their AC unit is energy efficient and mine's not. But sometimes if you're hanging out around the house, I don't know, it's sometimes gets pretty hot in the house. You might want to run the AC. But if you're not always in the house, because in these apartment condos, it gets stuffy in here. It can get stuffy, which can get hot. And if you're just trying to relax on a Sunday afternoon or a Saturday afternoon, and you got the AC, you're gonna want to turn that puppy on. And at night, sometimes it's kind of hot. Here in Kihei, it's kind of hot. It's up to you, though. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and expand on this cost of living in Maui altogether, and just bring up some other things while we're at it. So we've talked about Kihei. I mean, we can drill down more on Kihei. Kihei's gas prices are okay. Today I played golf, and it was only like $40. So when you first get here, get your Hawaii state ID. Because you automatically get combine a discount on a lot of things if you ask for it. Like if I would have played golf, it would have cost me $57. But today, because I have a Hawaii state ID, cost me $37. I saved $20 on golf. That's pretty good. I was happy about that because I didn't think they had a combine a discount. So yeah, getting a state ID is pretty good for a lot of different reasons. Food. It is expensive, yeah. Food's generally 15% higher. I think I pulled up, let's see here. Cost of living in Maui. I pulled up this, it's called Expatistan. That's a website. I don't know where they get this data, but they're saying that 12 eggs, $5.93. That sounds about right. I can cross-check that and tell you that's probably true. One bottle of red wine, $13. Yeah, that's pretty true. 2 liter of Coke, 3.18. Yeah, that's pretty true. Bread, 4.63. Combo meal at a fast food restaurant, $8. Yeah, I've had $7 at McDonald's. It's pretty cheap. This is pretty accurate though. 1 liter of whole fat milk, $1.78. Tomatoes, 2 pounds of tomatoes, $6. 16 ounces of local cheese, $10. It says monthly housing, $2,828 for 900 foot. For below 900 feet, it's 2,101. So I'm saying 1,700. They're saying it's above 2,000. Oh, I see. Here they have a monthly rent for a furnished studio in an expensive area, 1,700. Okay, furnished studio is 1,300. Okay, so yeah, so they're saying if you're a family, you're looking at $2,000 in the normal area, 2,800 in an expensive area. This place is pretty accurate. Utilities 1 month, $133. Internet $45. So it's on par with everything that I said. I mean, I think maybe my cable is expensive because I said give me the top speed, and I also asked for or they also give free cable or free basic cable. Transportation, 1 liter of gas. I mean, they're not saying anything too interesting. Monthly ticket, public transport, $44. Yeah, it's $2 to catch the bus everywhere you go. Cold medicine, I mean, who needs it? I guess, $12, but I don't really need to talk about that, I don't think. Toilet paper, $4 for 4 rolls. I heard this was really expensive for toilet paper, so whatever. 2 tickets to the movies. Yeah, if you find a nice movie theater. I mean, the movie theaters are alright. It's not like, what you'd get in some places. Cigarettes. If you smoke, $11 for a pack of cigarettes. That, I remember smokers, I don't smoke, but people always were complaining about smoking. Cocktail price, downtown at a club, $11. It is pretty expensive. Dinner for 2 at an Italian restaurant, $95. I would say maybe, okay. Oh, that includes main course, wine, and dessert. Yeah, that's $95. I mean, the other day, just for one person, I had Ruby Tuesdays, I had lobster and steak, surf and turf, because I was like, oh man, I gotta get something amazing for once. So I got surf and turf, mashed potatoes. That was about $32. Same thing. You can get the same thing at Outback. I think Outback's is more expensive than Ruby Tuesdays. So they do have like some cool restaurants here. The ones that stand out to me are like Moose McGillicuddy's. If you have ever been to Hawaii, you know about Moose McGillicuddy's in Honolulu and here on Maui. It's just kind of like a famous like kind of bar scene, kind of like Maui Jim's, kind of world renowned. Moose McGillicuddy's. It's kind of popular, especially with the military in Honolulu or Waikiki. But there is a Ruby Tuesdays here in Kihei. There's no Denny's here in Kihei. There's no IHOP here in Kihei. But I do know there is an IHOP in Wailuku. So, yeah. Pretty much if you want to get around the rest of the island, what you would do is, if you just want to take public transport, because driving here is pretty cool, but for me, I'm not a big fan of driving on the islands. There's a lot of people that actually say this. So I've gotten a motor scooter because why go in an automobile just down the road, right? It's like you can almost walk or ride a bike or take a motor scooter. So I found it to be worth it to get a motor scooter. That's just for an individual. If you're a family with kids, I mean, a motor scooter is not really too practical, so you do need to get a car. But if you're a single person or a couple, you might get 2 motor scooters for $1,000 each. Save money on gas. I mean, I think you get, man, I don't know. I know you get a lot of gas on 1 gallon. I think it's like 75 miles to the gallon, but don't quote me on that. Just depends on the brand and everything. So a full tank of gas you can get around Kihei for about a week, 2 weeks, depending on how much you're driving it. I mean, all of this is dependent upon how much you're doing things. But you know, the gas, you got to put premium gas in your moped. That it's like what, $3.35 or something like that. And I had half a tank when I filled up, so it only cost me like $2. So yeah, moped. The truck thing is, I got a truck. I would say I use the truck more on the Big Island than I do here in Maui, because there's not too many areas you can go off-roading or want to go off-roading really in Maui. Not like the Big Island where they got, you know, all those places. Kyoto Bay, Green Sands, and you know, there's dirt roads galore. I mean, there is some dirt roads out there, you know, down the other route towards Hana, and I guess northeast of the island. But cost of living overall in Maui is pretty expensive. And I think it's most expensive in the nation, in America, in the United States. I mean, I know San Francisco's got a higher rent, but commodities and stuff are cheaper in San Francisco. And the quality of the housing is all right where I live. As you can see, this is just 1 room and a 2-bedroom that I have. One's my office and one's my room, and then I have a living room. I would say it's fairly structurally sound. It's pretty well built, but I've heard stories from people who are always complaining about the carpet, the black mold, you know, weird things like that. Especially if you're living up in like Makawao or, you know, Kula or even towards Paia. It's probably a little bit cheaper over there, Paia. It's a coastal town. Lahaina. Yeah. Lahaina is pretty expensive. They say South Lahaina is not expensive, but North Lahaina is going towards like Napili. That's an expensive area, rightfully so. The weather is like, the weather is what people go there for. It's a little bit lush, not too rainy, but it's just beautiful weather, beautiful sunsets. You can see Molokai, you can see Lanai. It's like heavenly kind of out there, you know. But at the end of the day, you have to bear in mind that it's an island, and no matter what you think about it, island fever catches everybody. And you know, island fever happens. You could say, well, you need to find activities to do and this and that, but it happens to a lot of people. So, you know, if you're considering moving to Maui, I'm not trying to knock you off your dreams, but don't be very cautious for just uplifting everything and moving over here for a career, because I'm saying get to know it for a little while. Just plan for 6 months. At least at 6 months you'll know. So when you sign your lease, do a 6-month lease if you can, and don't burn any bridges where you're coming from, because you know, after 6 months you'll know if you can hack it over here. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm saying you might get your fill, okay? Because everyone says the same thing when they come to Maui. I want to move to Maui. Everybody who ever comes here, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but you know, the majority of people who come here say the exact same thing. I want to move to Maui and live in Maui, but I don't think I can afford it. As far as jobs go, ooh, wow. I was just at Ruby Tuesdays the other night. I remember saying to myself, I was like, um, they kind of need a bartender. Like every place I feel like is hiring. Now this is where that universal basic income comes into the picture, where it might not cover the basic cost of living, but you get a universal basic income to add $1,000 to your income. That's pretty cool. I guess if you're making just barely enough to be above, just barely cutting by, right? But yeah, there's a lot of places I feel like are hiring, and they could use some help. I mean, they're short-staffed, is what I'm saying. So, I guess universal basic income could be a great thing for people in those situations who are working. They're just not making enough money, but it could supplement. That kind of stuff could end up being pretty cool. Maui's one of those places where universal basic income could help out just enough to take the pressure off. You're still going to work, but you're going to have just enough to get over the hump. Whereas right now, I feel like people are probably falling short. They're probably every month that goes by, they're probably incurring more and more debt. So that's, I guess, one area where everyone who came on my universal basic income post, there's a lot of people advocating for universal basic income. I was going to probably make another video follow up to that. It's that I've also had some additional thoughts to it. I think my position still remains the same about treading cautiously about it, but I'm still I'm still developing my opinion, and I guess you could say I'm open to becoming more liberal about universal basic income, assuming my concerns are addressed. So yeah, as far as cost of living in Maui, you can get a pretty good paying job, I think, as a server or a tips. If you can get a server or a tips job, that's probably where you're gonna make the most money. Leave the odds and ends service jobs to the locals. You don't really need to be getting in there and trying to, be a plumber. You could, but leave that to the local businesses. Go into the tourist accommodation industry. I think you can make some pretty good money, and right off the bat, because I think a lot of the resorts, they're constantly having a high turnover, and they're constantly looking for quality help. So you could check out Wailea, you could check out Kaanapali, you could check out the resorts, Napili, up that area. Kihei's got some. You could check out these places, and you might be able to make it happen out here. Definitely don't shoot your dreams down of being able to fulfill your opportunity. I'm just saying, take the leap, but give yourself 6 months to adjust and see if it's really for you. So do like a 6-month staycation. Is that what it would be called? Stay for 6 months on a vacation. See if you like it. Don't burn any bridges going back. Don't tell mom and dad F you, screw you. Don't tell brother and sister F you, screw you. Don't tell your old boss. Don't tell your best friend, that you're screw them, Just keep things cool. Big thing is don't blow up any grenades in your environment. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you like, and feel free to ask questions. Thank you for the question. It's always great, Mike Cross. So if you got any other questions, I hope this answered your question, Mike.